I just got here and I already see a huge red flag. This crazy angled driveway situation would be tough for an experienced flipper, so imagine how difficult it is for a rookie. I just hope that these two like paying attention to detail because it can go wrong super fast.
Hey, I'm Alicia.
Alicia and Jacqueline, nice to meet you.
Yeah, welcome.
All right, so I have a ton of questions about this house.
Yes, shoot.
So do we. So do we.
How did you pick this house? Because it's a huge project.
Well, let's be honest, Tarek. There's not a ton of houses in the world to flip.
Correct.
So you get your shot, you take it. And I feel like I know enough about real estate and houses. I want to take the next step. I want to make some more money.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long have you been selling houses?
Got licensed a little over 15 years ago.
So I just got my real estate license like 3 months ago.
This is one of those go big or go home deals. We do stand to make a pretty penny here. We're at 2,060 square feet living space.
And it's 3 bedroom, 3 bath.
3.5 bath.
3.5 bath. Okay.
So 3 bedroom, 3.5 bath. So what did you end up paying for the house?
405.
405.
Yeah.
And what do you think it's gonna resell at?
850.
Why do you think you're gonna get 850?
I do have experience apprenticing as an appraiser, so I put some of that experience to use.
How much do you think it's gonna cost to fix this thing up?
We're in the ballpark of 175 to 200,000.
Okay, that's a hefty budget.
Yeah.
My dad actually, he flips houses and I've always been interested. So his company gave us a loan. So we got a hard money loan.
Okay, so he's expecting to get his money back.
That's right. Real deal. We're being charged
monthly.
interest as we speak.
My dad doesn't trust me with that amount of money. So he trusts Alicia, and so he knows that she will guide me in the right direction.
So if it doesn't work out, you're in trouble. I think we have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
We know. When we bought this property, there were certain permits made, and we do have to stay true to those permits. We were able to get in and get them transferred into our name.
Okay.
We need your help here, we need some ideas, but we have some guidelines to work with.
Okay, this is the garage that we're standing in.
Yes.
This is the garage.
Okay, so I see a 1-car garage, another single-car garage. With the slope, I think it can be a little tight getting cars in and out with the post in the middle. If this were my flip, I'd just scrap the complicated sloping driveway, switch to a simple parking pad out front, and convert the garage into living space. But since they're stuck with the driveway from the old permits, they're gonna have to keep a close eye on the construction to make sure it goes smoothly. Do you have any idea how much it's gonna cost to build this driveway?
I think we're in the realm of 20,000.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's go take a look at the house then.
Okay.
So, in the house now.
This is the front door.
Okay, so we need to build a patio.
Definitely.
I'm gonna guess here, to build a big deck like that, I don't know, you're probably looking 12 to 15,000.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. So you're gonna have to build a deck there.
This is the kitchen.
Right.
That's a tiny kitchen. Do you have an idea for the kitchen budget?
25, I think we're around.
Okay. And then we have another deck out there. That again, that's probably gonna cost you 12 to 15,000. What is this space? This is living room, family room?
This is the living room. It's
What is
pretty-
all of this? Is it rat droppings? What is this stuff everywhere?
Yeah, I think so.
Yummy.
It
Yeah.
freaks me out.
This is the living room.
This is the living room. It's really small.
Yeah.
And then I'm assuming another deck's gonna be going out here?
Yeah, a lot of decks.
Probably not.
No?
Probably not.
I thought we already talked about putting a deck out here, so I thought we were 100% doing a deck. So I thought we liked the deck because it made it more open, and this makes it feel like we're gonna just fall right out of the house.
Well, yeah, if we don't
You know?
have to consider the money being spent, I think a deck would be a great thing to add in there, but we will have to
I
see how
guess-
much it will cost.
Okay, I think it's really important, especially with this house, to have a deck. So imagine the slider was gone, this was drywall, and we had a window right here. How tight would this room feel?
Yeah.
Right.
Imagine you open up this door and then you have a 10 or 12-foot deck.
Yeah.
So
Right.
you're adding like 20% more square footage to the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
All right, we'll keep looking. We're gonna come back to the deck situation, but we need decks. So what in the world are we gonna do with this driveway?
Yeah, none of it's actually what we have on the plans, and it's not structurally safe, so all this has to get started from scratch.
Oh, wow.
Wait, so you're telling me like none of this is good?
Nothing, unfortunately.
Oh, gosh.
What a waste. Yeah.
I thought this was part of the permits that we had transferred over to us and that the existing work was already approved, but I guess I was wrong.
How much is it gonna cost to rebuild this driveway?
We're probably gonna be 10 to 15 by the time we're done.
Is the replacement of the driveway in the bid?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Luckily.
For that same price?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then what are you guys doing in the front of the house by the front door? Actually, let's walk it really quick.
Let's do it.
So
Show
this
us.
is gonna be the new driveway. This is where the cars drive up. This is the garage door. If you can put some pressure on my arm so you don't fall.
I'm here for
Tarek's
Mimi.
probably a little buffer than I am.
Don't fall. Oh, careful, careful. Where's the front door at? Oh, is that the front door?
That's the front door
That's
up there.
the front door. Okay. All right, so standing here, obviously we have an access problem.
So I think what we're gonna do is just a couple feet out from the side of the door here, maybe about where that outlet is. We're gonna have a nice just platform basically that'll get us to about the edge of the house.
Okay.
And then from there, we're gonna kind of run with the angle of the driveway and get down to the street.
So you'll have the driveway on the left side and then the walking deck on the right side going up to the front door.
You got it.
The way to really increase value here is with those decks if we can, because if we can add more livable square footage with those decks, I think the price is gonna go up.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So
I'll have a
bigger
conversation.
is better when it comes to the decks.
You got it.
Okay.
I know it's important to put in as large of decks as we can for that indoor-outdoor feel, but this project just keeps getting bigger and bigger. It's making me really nervous. I just hope all this work pays off in the end.
Construction's finally moving along, but we still have a really long way to go.
We are super excited. We have some news, good news.
All right,
not
what's
bad
our news?
We get to put in a full deck, not a little balcony.
A full one.
Okay, so last time I was here, they said we could only build out 3 feet.
Yeah. Now we can do up to 10.
Now we're talking about building out a big, beautiful deck.
Exactly.
All right, so what changed?
Yeah.
We dug around a little bit and found that in the original plans that were already permitted, it calls for a deck, a full deck with foundation and posts. And we have our holes in there ready to go to pour our foundation. If you take a look,
So it's gonna
you
come
see
out
some
10 feet.
2x4s.
Yeah.
I'm happy they can build a full deck. I mean, that's huge. But it's an important lesson for these 2 rookies. You dig through the paperwork before you start the construction. Knowing stuff like this from the start is really important. But how much is the deck gonna cost?
Around
10,000.
10,000.
Starting to like your contractor.
Yeah.
He's gonna do that deck for $10,000.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes,
sure.
For sure.
All right,
we just
so-
got off the phone with them, so.
All right, so you 2 have to be thrilled because that is
Yeah.
like a make or break. I mean, the value of this house just went way up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thankfully, Alicia and Jacqueline took my advice to heart, and they're really focused on managing their flip. It's a pretty big project, but it looks like the work that they're doing is gonna pay off.
Oh man, the crane's trying to get over the tree. I think it's stuck on a branch. I am feeling like a boss right now. We're getting these steel beams in. They're gonna get installed over here. They're gonna be supporting the deck and some of the foundation for the house. And this is a really exciting day. That beam right there weighs 600 pounds.
It's
It's
so
literally
weird.
going straight into the glass. I don't know who decided, like when they were actually building it. You know what I mean?
What? Anytime something goes wrong in the project, I take a picture and send it to the GC.
Since the first day we met to today, it's almost been a year.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a really long flip. We don't want to flip houses like this. Like, In any other market, if you're doing a flip and things are going sideways and you're 9, 10, 11 months in, you're gonna go out of business. Like there's no way you're gonna stay in the business.
Yeah.
But there is a silver lining to all of this, and both of you, I'm sure you know what it is because you're both in real estate.
Yeah.
All the mistakes that were made here actually made you money. So it's because we got lucky and nothing else. The price of the home has gone up more than your monthly mortgage payment. So all these mistakes in the end are gonna make you more money, put more money in your pocket. So now we need to come up with the list price, but first I wanna go over the numbers. You guys paid $405,000 for the house. You told me you were gonna spend $200. How much did you end up spending?
$220.
So you spent $220.
Yeah.
Okay. The project took way longer than we
Way longer, yeah.
The carrying cost, what are we at?
$66,000.
Okay. And then our selling costs are still roughly the same, about $30,000. So
Right.
that's gonna give us a break even of $721.
Right.
We're gonna list for $925.
And originally we wanted to list for $850.
Okay.
So,
Originally, after running the comps, I was gonna say you should list at $899.9.
okay.
But now that I'm here, you know, the house is great. I think it's close enough to where you could try it.
Okay.
Okay.
We got a
Super
break
happy.
even of $721. We're talking about listing at $925. That's over $200,000.
Yeah. I think if it wasn't,
Lemonade out of lemons?
Yeah? All right. Yeah, there we go. So now we're getting excited.
Yeah.
So between the two of you, how many open houses do you think you've done?
We've done a lot.
Have you ever got to spy on someone?
Never.
Okay, you're gonna be surprised with what they say.
I love the views from here.
You see the driveway, how it's uphill?
Yeah.
It's different.
Wow, but look, did you see under it? There's no support under there.
We're in California. This earthquake happens.
How does that work with earthquakes?
When earthquakes happen, structures actually are supposed to be able to sway a little bit to move so that they don't break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I heard a wow.
Whole different vibe inside.
Very open and bright.
All right.
Hey, I think he likes the vibe.
The countertops are really nice. Whoever designed it did a really good job.
Yeah, it came out great.
Yep.
We don't have like a dining table or like, where are we gonna put that? Because both of our families are big. So like, where are we gonna host them?
That was one of our concerns. There just wasn't enough space.
Yeah, I mean, if you would have done a breakfast nook, the kitchen would have been even smaller.
Even smaller, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, this view is stunning.
This is nice. Nice little private area. This glass right here. The fact that you can just see right through is like, I feel like more open.
I wish these were like connected, because then
If it was, that'd
yeah,
be
that would have
really
been so
insane, yeah.
cool.
You can put a crawl tube.
You think it'd be worth more?
Probably.
Gorgeous, fresh air
Breakfast,
too.
lunch, and dinner right here. I mean, I love it.
Babe, your hair is like flowing in the breeze too. So it's like,
I know those decks were a complete nightmare, but it's the reason why you're gonna sell the house for what you sell it for.
Right.
I like this tile. It's like really simple but beautiful. There's some like curves on it, so you get like some dimension. Oh, wow, look
I
at the
like this.
living room. I like the indoor-outdoor living.
She loves our house.
I like the fact that like, this opens it up a lot.
Yeah.
Let's check out the garage. Okay, so it's
Okay,
a good amount of
2-car.
space, yeah.
You know what's weird is we have to find out what's below the garage because I've never had a garage above where I would sleep or somebody would sleep.
Oh, actually, it's an office space. Perfect, Joe. You can work from home.
This is underneath.
Oh, this is what's
This is
underneath the garage.
Yeah.
What's this?
On the closet? Yeah, I don't know there.
Well, now I don't really care for that.
Underneath the driveway, it looks like pretty secluded.
I feel like I'm in. Whoa.
Maybe install a blind or something because that looks awful. It's pretty bad. So let's do that. Let's put up a blind. Let's put up blinds, or let's put up a curtain.
Ooh, very spacious. Ooh, I like the restroom. The tiles are stunning.
So-
You like all those curves? I like the black hardware.
the counter has a really nice colorway to it and it blends in with these cabinets.
Yeah, the cabinets are stunning. I love this
You know
gray
what?
color.
So this is the main bedroom. All right. Wait, why is there no balcony here?
Yeah, see, we
She's
tried
yelling
to
us
do
about the patio.
Why didn't you do a patio there?
We were gonna have to get an additional permit, and supposedly we weren't gonna have the time to do that, but here we are.
I don't know. That's really weird.
That's kind of dangerous. I don't like this.
I feel like this could be really dangerous if we had kids.
You guys get signed off on your final inspection.
No.
No.
I'm not quite sure it's gonna pass.